In this video, the world's biggest RC car has problems, and A-Test Steve gets an electric shock.
Does it work?
We fix it and go to the moon. This is the world's biggest RC car, a replica of my real monster truck. Look at that. This is an X-Max. It makes the X-Max look tiny. An X-Max is a huge. In the last video, we fitted this great big Taylor 71cc racing engine. And in this video, we're gonna send this thing to the moon, full speed, flat out. But first, we've got to fix a couple of problems. And the main one being anything over half throttle, the engine would just cut out. No idea why, so in this video, we're going to try and fix it. The suspension was too hard, doing big jumps, the shocks just wasn't absorbing it. So we've got to take the shocks apart and modify them. And then once we sorted that out, we can send this thing to the moon. And I know, some of you guys are going to complain and say, Kev, it's such a nice RC car, how dare you? Thing is, real monster trucks are just as nice, and they're made to go to the moon. So the toy one, that's going to the moon too. And don't worry, if it gets wrecked, all my RC cars, every single RC car in this room, they all get abused on the videos, but then, once they're back in the shop, we give them all the love, and they're all pretty much as good as new again. See, like the gravedigger down here that we sent to the moon, and we bent all the axle housings. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's
Oh man, I've never done that before. That's all fixed again. I've also got a brand new body that I'm going to have as a shelf queen. This one here is just a basher body. Same as that one. This one here is the basher body. I've got a brand new perfect body to put onto it on the shelf. And I've actually set up a competition where one of you guys can win a brand spanking new one of these game over trucks with the Taylor 71cc engine. And they'll ship it to the winner anywhere in the world for free. Link down below in the description box. Right, that's enough waffle. Let's get wrenching. Now the biggest problem, the engine, it could be a whole load of issues causing that. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, Kev, go brushless. I've got a brushless one as well, but there's just something about a monster truck. It's got to make a racket. A silent monster truck, it just doesn't put a smile on the face for me. Do whichever way puts the biggest smile on your face, so don't argue. And anyway, I think these Taylor engines have got more power than the brushless anyway. We've raced them before and this one won. The issue could be with the tuning, but I tried loads of different settings and it still cut out top end. Whether we richened it or leaned it, it just made it worse. It could be the tank, brand new tank, so I can't really see it being that. I mean, it could be, but I doubt it. It could be the carburetor that's faulty. So I've got a brand new carburetor here. I'm going to chuck that on it, see how that runs. If it still does the same, then the issue's going to be something else. And we're going to solve the issue in this video. You're going to see this truck go to the moon. Hopefully we're not going to break it. My goal always is to push it to the limit and not break it. And if you do break it, then modify it and then take it out again, push it to the limit and just keep doing that until you've got like the perfect RC. And that's kind of where I find fun in the hobby. And you know, people just tell me, oh, you're doing it wrong. You've got to do it whichever way puts the biggest smile on your face. So here we've got the brand new carburetor, and we're going to assemble it all with brand new gaskets. Boom, that's the brand new carb put on there. Next up, we've had a couple of screws that have come loose. Actually lost one of these in there, but I've got a spare one, so happy days. We'll get a little bit of heavy duty Loctite on there. Oh look, where I painted the axle housing, it is starting to come off and it's getting pebble dashed across here. I think I'm going to have to strip off all the paint, get the anodising removed and then put some black anodising on there. I know a lot of you guys said you got to edge prime it first, but when I looked online, it said if it's already anodised, you don't need to edge prime it. You only edge prime it if it's on bare aluminium, but because this is already anodised silver, that's what I read anyway, but it's coming off. I'm not an expert, am I? I'm just winging it, making it up as I'm going along. All you guys in the comments are the experts. Next up, I've got a small problem here. So this is twin servos. I'm running these two perfect pass servos. Loads of power in these servos, actually. They've worked perfectly so far. But to sync them both together, you've got these two adapters, and they've got slots in there, so you can loosen these 4 bolts off, and then you can get both servos perfectly so they're not fighting each other. However, I snapped off 2 screws in this one. And because they're flush, there's no way of holding them. But Over there, I've got a TIG welder. So sometimes if you're careful, you can just weld a bit of welding wire to it, then unwind it. We got it on low amps because we don't want to melt it. Wish me luck. Might be tricky. We've literally got 1 millimetre that we can play with. Yes. Come on, don't snap off. Yes. Oh yes, we got it. Just to get an idea of how accurate we got to be, that is an M3 screw, and this is a 1.6 millimetre welding rod. 0.5 millimetre either side, we would have welded it onto that. Now with the controller on, we can go ahead and put it all back together again. Boom! Next up, let's have a look at these shocks. But first, let's get the wheels on. Man, that is tight. That's what she said. So I'm going to hold it in a vice, but I've got these aluminium jaws here to protect the shock shaft. If you don't put these on, you're going to ruin your shock shaft and your shocks will end up leaking. So now we can get a spanner on there. Hopefully wind that off. It's tight, but I want to do a bump stop modification, so we've got to get it off. There we go. No shock shaft damage. So what happens on these shocks is the way the oil moves, that is how the damping works. So when you're landing a big jump, the oil trying to force through these holes is what's absorbing it. If the holes are too small, then what happens is the oil can't go through the pistons quick enough and it just locks up solid. And then what can happen? You can smash the piston to a million pieces. So I'm going to use a 3.5 millimetre drill bit, because that's the same one that I used on my other laminators, and that seems to give the perfect damping when you're running double shocks. Uh-oh, it's a bit violent. Boom! Oh no, what's happened here? Why is this leaking? Oh no! Oh, must have a hole in it. Oh, what a mess. Anyway, when you're putting the shock shaft back on, it's worth taking this just off slightly, because then it relieves the pressure on the seals, and then you can put that back in and hopefully not damage your seals. I know these were really prone to leaking on the older trucks. Next up, I'm going to do a bump stop conversion. So washer, grommet, washer, then we can get the rod end back on. So there you go, look, it looks almost exactly the same as on the real monster truck. Just a little bit kinder on it all, they're just smashing metal into metal. All right, let's try and get in there what's left of this oil. Oh, what a mess. I've got to slowly bleed these. I know, by moving this piston up and down, it can fire it out the top if you're not careful. Let's get the air bubbles out of there. Ah, see, shoots it out. So when you're pulling the shaft down, it's worth just putting the lid back on there, because it does fire it out. And top it up with some more oil. I think how I did it last time is just push that down, just bleed out the excess, and then screw the lid on when it's all the way down. Screw that lid back on, it's still firing it out everywhere. Boom, there we go, ready for action. And now we've got to do the rest of them. Boom, there we go, ready for action. Well, almost. I want to change the gearing. Stock, they come just sort of middle gearing, and you get 2 gearing sets. We've got a high-speed gear. If you have it the other way around, it's like a crawler gear. And we've got an intermediate gear. Now, on that Gravedigger over there, I had it on the highest speed gearing. It's a little bit too much. It takes a little while for it to wind up. But the stock gearing seems a little bit slow. So this time we're going to try the intermediate gearing, and hopefully that's going to be the perfect sweet spot. So to make it go faster, we want to put the big gear on there and the smaller gear on the one that attaches to the prop shaft. If you want to make it go slower, you switch these round. Cover back on. Drive shaft back on. Boom! There we go. Ready for action. Here we are on location. Got some different fuel now. A lot of you guys in the last comment said that I mixed it up wrong. So this time we mixed it up properly. So we spent about 10 minutes trying to get it running off of camera, and it just would not run. Here is us struggling. I think we got a spark. Let's test it.
Is there a spark?
Yeah, I saw a spark.
Try and touch it on the thread.
Yeah. Does it work?
Yeah, it did. I felt that go.
Right, so we got spark.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely did
So
that.
we don't need to start.
I don't know, it might be flooded. We can smell fuel, so we might have flooded it now. It's got a plug spanner. What's that one? Is that too big?
Oh,
Is that?
that's the big one. Yeah. You need the smaller one.
That's what we need, something like that. Yeah. But bigger. The trouble is, once he flooded it, he got no hope. Man, we haven't got any tools. Well, we got tools, but not one that will fit. But if that goes on, oh yeah, halfway on with that, and halfway on with that, just don't clip it in, just have it on the first off the ball. This is where brushless is better. But once these things are running though, you can't beat the fun.
That's it.
Got it?
Yeah, it should be on.
Hey, people said we've got to read the spark plug. So you engine experts, does look a bit wet, doesn't it? Max has got 2-stroke motorbikes.
Yeah, there's not enough fuel going in there.
So we messed about with this thing for ages. We just could not get it running. I didn't bother filming it all, and I'm just going to speed it all up because otherwise it's going to be boring for you guys. But we are going to get this truck running in this video and send it to the moon. Trying to clean the spark plug up. Never had this much trouble getting a Taylor engine going. Normally pop a couple of times and they start. This thing here, 2 different carbs, still won't go. Next port of call then, new spark plug. If that don't work, I have to ring Taylor, I suppose. I'm no expert here. Could a weak spark plug be killing it when you go over half throttle? Yeah. So next up, I'm going to take out the spark plug and fit a new one. Next up, I put the battery in. I've turned the radio on. In there, probably can't see it on camera, a little red light, but we hit the kill switch, should go green. That now means good to go. So what you're supposed to do on these engines, bit of choke first, then you pull the starter until it pops, then you turn it off and it should run. Now we should be able to turn that off, it should run. That was easy. Let's take it out for a rip. It was still cutting out anything over half throttle, so I'm having a little play about with the mixtures to see if we can make it work properly. When it goes, ooh, it's lean, isn't it? So we've just put the factory settings on it, got a new spark plug in there, so at least it starts now. Got a brand new carb on there, brand new gaskets. Anything over sort of about that much throttle, it just cuts out. I've tried richer on the bottom end, lean on the bottom end. I've tried richer on the top end, lean on the top end. And no matter what I do, it just makes it worse than base settings, but no matter what, it just cuts out as soon as you go over half throttle. Anything over half throttle, it just does that. Right, well, let's give Taylor a quick call and see if they've got any ideas. Hello? Yeah, my engine doesn't run. Okay. Okay, will do. Thank you. Bye-bye. Right. Apparently, where the carburetor's mounted on the inlet manifold, there's some gaskets in there. So I've just got to take it all apart and make sure that the gasket is in there properly. So first of all, let's drain the tank. So we can see here that gravity is actually draining that tank. And we can see we've got a good supply of fuel there. So the problem is definitely not in the fuel tank. I'm not an expert, but that's what I'm guessing anyway. We're just winging it, but we winged a whole entire monster truck together. So surely we can wing an RC car. So anyway, while that's draining, we're going to have to take the carburetor off again. Behind the carburetor, we've got the manifold. Apparently it's a gasket that sits in there that could possibly be not on right. We'll have a look. Man, I'm so excited to get this engine running properly. The Taylor RC engines normally run perfectly. Let's get that carburetor off. There we go, carburetor off. So next up, we've got to take off the inlet manifold. No idea how well you guys can see this on camera, but there's not much room here. Right, so we've got to knock this off. We've got to make sure that the gaskets are on the right way round. So it's got a hole there, and that hole there lines up with that hole there. We've got to make sure it's not blocked. So this here's a gasket, and you see that oval hole there? It's got to line up with that hole there, which it does. I don't know, all looks good to me. I'm out of ideas now. Hello! Yep, taking it all apart. All the gaskets look good. Right, okay. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye. I've got to take the engine out. I've got to send it back to Taylor, and then they're going to sort it out, have a look what's wrong with it. It's probably something I did wrong with it, knowing me, because I'm not very good at running these engines. And then they're going to send it back to me in working order and chuck it in, and it's going to be worth it. Stick around. In this video, we're going to run this truck and we're going to send it to the moon and see what this thing can do. You've already seen the detailed way of getting this engine in and out, so the quickest way that I know. Boom, there we go, all boxed up, ready to ship. A few moments later, boom! The engine's back from Taylor. They completely leak tested all the engine everywhere to make sure everything's good. Apparently everything is perfect. So all you got to do now is chuck it back in. Hopefully it works. Boom! There we go. Engine all back in. I did for now leave off the kill switch just to iron out that possibly something was going on with the kill switch turning off the engine. So we'll run it with that first, then plug it back in later. Hopefully now it's all going to work. Here we go. Right now. Kill switch back on, boy. Backflip. Next up, I'm going to get this kill switch back on. Hopefully, it's still going to work. There we go, kill switch all back on. Please work. Bit of kill switch?
Maybe.
Yep, with the kill switch on, it's cutting out again. So I'm just removing the kill switch just to see if now it's going to run good again. It does, but now we've lost rear wheel drive for some reason. But now we lost rear wheel drive. It's a diff.
Yep.
They're the new heavy duty diffs as well. The shop fix it and we'll get it out again in this video. This thing is going to the moon in this video. Don't go anywhere. I'll tell you what, guys, really feeling deflated today. RC is supposed to be fun, and recently nothing has been working. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. We're gonna have a little sulk. That completely let me down when we tried to do the last monster truck show. Tried to get a cool video with these planes. Yeah, they all went wrong as well. We've got a video planned with RC car dragsters versus real drag cars. Yeah, all went wrong, of course. Anyway, let's get this diff out, get this thing working, and then take it out again. Oh, look, there we go. It's chewed up, that gear there, and the main crown wheel. Oh, look, that bearing here's failed. So that's why that pinion's gone. So there we go. Brand new differential, brand new input gear. Get it back in there. Boom! Back in action. Here we are, next location. No kill switch, so hopefully no runaway. But hopefully it's going to work. And he's got his Baja. So this was in one of my videos about 3 or 4 years ago. Don't forget you can win a brand new Primal Game Over truck with the Taylor 71cc engine, or alternatively the winner can choose a brushless conversion kit. Link in the description. Oh, no. Thanks, mate. It is running a little bit lean on the bottom end, I think. You can hear the RPM hunting, but I don't have a screwdriver on me, so I have to leave it for now. Oh, dude! This RC car weighs over 40 kilos. You do not want it hitting you. I told you not to stand there. Running a little bit too lean, but I've got no screwdrivers on it. thing sounds too lean on the bottom end. I'm not an expert, but I am learning. And where it sort of sounds like it's hunting and not much smoke coming out, we just got to richen off that low speed needle a little bit and it should sound a lot more happy. Anyway, next location, skate park. Let's get a bit of air. You still alive down there, Andy? Yep, he's still breathing. Here we are, next location. That jump there, that goes to the moon. So I've just made it a little bit richer on the bottom end. Our new shock adjustments look like it's working perfectly. Oh no, game over! I bust a falling bar. Oh no, look! It's getting it now! I think we better put it away before we completely kill it. Look, we got a broken 4-link bar, we bent the sway bar, the fuel's leaking out everywhere because my little motocross filter's disappeared.
Destroyed the shell that I repaired, look.
Yeah, luckily this is just a basher shell. We got the mint shell at home. All that messing about, and it turned out to be the kill switch that comes with the truck. So I'm going to ditch this stupid kill switch here. I've had a lot of trouble with these. They're not compatible with much of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and fit one of these dynamite ones. Boom! There we go, all fitted. Also fitted a brand new rod end and a new sway bar, and we got the Shelf Queen body back onto it, so it looks all like brand new again. And don't forget, you can win a brand spanking new one of these with the Taylor 71cc engine, and I'll ship it to the winner for free anywhere in the world. Link down below in the description box. Next video with this, I want to send it to the moon even higher. Did not fully get the opportunity in this video. So I want to take it back around again, around like a BMX track or something. We take it to another skate park. Also, we're going to do some speed running with Isle of Man Rob, who's got the electric one. So we're going to do a gas versus electric video. That video is coming up soon on this channel. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Do you want to win one of my RC cars? Click here. Click here to subscribe and become part of the crew. It's free. Or click here to see one of my other videos.